Well, hello guys, my name is Nick from Nickstoygarage, and today we're doing a custom restoration on this Matchbox No. 12 Land Rover Safari. This model was produced from 1966 till 1970 with I think 5 variants. The first one being a green one in 1966 with the old school Matchbox wheels and a brown luggage roof, while the bag is on top. Then from 67 till 1969, a blue one with the brown plastics bags and actually Land Rover Safari on the bottom with the old school wheels. Then another blue one in 68 from the gift farm set. And then in 1970, a blue one, and this gold one came out with a plastic base and these actual not old school but these newer style wheels, again with the brown luggage bag. The farm one actually came with a red plastic luggage bag. You'll see it in the end of the video how the plastic bags look. So let's take a closer look at this car. It's in rough shape. All the wheels are bent, the axles are bent, the glass is destroyed. I think this thing hit a few deers or a few elephants on its safaris, because every single window except in front of the driver is just mullered. They are gone. They are all the people in the car are all dead. Let's presume that. Even if you look at the back window, somebody tried to break in the car. It's really obvious. The roof box, the luggage box is missing, and look at it, it just deserves a restoration. So I take my handy dandy screwdriver after drilling out the base. With a little bit of chicken force from me and obviously the help from the handy dandy screwdriver, the base just released quite easily. Like I said, it is a plastic base, so not for the sandblaster, because then it would be gone, I guess. So it could be a little bit less careful, not really scared of breaking it in half like I did with my F1 Ferrari. It's a video never actually released. So this is a kind of new system, the front and rear axle actually not being held in with springs or something like that, but from the bottom you can actually take out these axle holders, I guess, and then in my case the bent and destroyed axles come out just like that. After that the interior lifts out and the mullered glass comes out with it. Now it's time for my favorite step of every restoration. It's my sandblasting cabinet. In the past I've used paint stripper. I know a lot of you guys, well, a lot of the restorers right now used a chemical stripper. But I just love how satisfying this is with my sandblaster. And it takes me about 1 or 2 minutes max, depending on how many details the car actually has. Because paint tends to stick in those details quite well. This is it after the sandblasting step, and doesn't it look amazing? The gold, well, the kind of gold metallic paint is gone and it will not return. I do love a nice gold car, but I'm doing a gold car I think next week and didn't want to do gold cars in a row because, well, gold is a special color for me. Next, it's time for the primer. I'm using a fine surface primer by Tamiya in grey. Just letting the model sit into my tweezers, my vice grips, and applying 2 coats in total, leaving between 15 to 20 minutes to dry between coats, and obviously doing the interior, because you can actually, it's a pretty big car with big windows, so you will be able to see the interior. Like I said, the gold paint is gone and it's not returning. I've decided to go with a nice green. This car actually came in a darkish green, but not as dark as I'm doing it right here. I wasn't really sure what I was going with. It was, well, kind of a camouflage, but on a Safari I'm not really sure. So please let me know in the comment section down below what color you would paint this magnificent Land Rover Safari, because I'm actually really curious. And while you're there in the comment section down below, I want to know who has actually an old Land Rover or Range Rover. Please let me know in the comment section down below. Next, it's time for the fine details. Now, like I said, I broke my 1mm chrome pencil in the last, I broke them both, and I didn't break them, they broke from itself. So I used my 4mm pencil to fill in the big areas, and then I just dripped some, well, the pen, the 1mm pen just drips chrome, so I dripped it on a piece of sanding paper and used the actual pen to apply it to the model. It works quite well. It's not supposed to do it, but it works quite well. So the grille gets chromish paint and the headlights. I was debating on doing the grille in black because it is a Safari vehicle. Not much chrome is needed on those vehicles, but I was really scared. It's a dark green car with a dark grille, with dark this, dark that. I was thinking it was just going to get lost, and I'm looking at the car right now on my shelf, and I made a good decision doing it in chrome, if I do say so myself. Meanwhile, I applied the blinkers to the front and the back of my Landy. When that is done, I take my red Sharpie and paint in the taillights. After the taillights are nice and filled in, I take my black marker and do the door handles. I wasn't going to do the door handles in chrome because that would again be overkill for this car. Black grille would be underkill, but chrome handles would be overkill. Next, it's white. In Belgium, the number plates are white with red lettering. I obviously can't do the red lettering in this small scale. I'm just not that good, so I decided to go with some nice white number plates on the front and back, obviously. And then letting this sit for about, I think, half an hour to 40 minutes to let the chromish, well, not the chromish paint, the chrome marker dry out completely. Next, it's time to get some hot soapy water. At this point, I was still under the impression I would throw away these wheels and axles because they're just so destroyed. I was actually looking for some, but I will see in a later bit. But at that point, I'm cleaning the interior and cleaning the base plates. Now back to the wheels and tires. Like I said, I was still under the impression I was going to throw them away. I was even looking for other models to use the wheels. Speaking of this model, would you guys want to see me restore this model? It's a Majorette, I think, and I think this deserves a restoration and a nice detail from those little guys in the back. I would love to do that. After a lot of searching, I was just not able to find a proper set of wheels, so I did the only thing logical. I tried to straighten out the axles and restore these wheels and tires. So let's take my normal tools, like I do always. Well, there we go, and let's start straightening out these axles. After a bit, I managed, and I just didn't really record it because this took me 15 minutes of swearing and trying to do the thing back straight. It was quite hilarious. Next, it's time for the interior. I know an old Land Rover it's supposed to have a nice brown leather interior, so just imagine it's not leather. I want to imagine because I like a nice brown leather interior, and it suits the model so good. Next, the plastic base and the little axle holders get its coat of black, and off camera I restore the actual wheels to black. You will see it right here. And then I use my chrome marker to chrome out, pimp out the wheels and tires. I was kind of scared the chrome would leak onto the lower part of the actual rim, but luckily it stayed on the top and the result is amazing, if I do say so myself. On to the reassembly. Now the old window, it's gone, but I ordered a new window and a new luggage rack thingy-majig. So first order of business, I know it's Land Rover and it kinds of, well, the towing hook kind of fits, but I just didn't want it. Simple as that. So I cut it off and we're on to the reassembly. I threw away one of the wheels and axles that I just restored to perfection, if I do say so myself. Next, I snap in the little, well, it's an axle holder, I'm just gonna call it an axle holder, back into place, and do the same thing with the front axle. When that one is snapped into place, I make sure the wheels roll, and they actually roll straight, because you don't want wonky wheels when you're driving. I take out my little plastic and new window and slot it into place. Actually love the little tiny windows on the roof of this car. They just make the car so epic. slot in the freshly painted slash still drying interior. I was just so excited to make this video, I didn't let it dry all the way, but it can dry further in the car, obviously. And when the interior is clicked in, I take the base, I slot in the back, snap in the front, drill out the little post off camera and use a self-tapping screw so the model can be easily taken apart again in the future if I ever want to restore it or maybe change the color. Next, there is not really a post for the luggage, so I just glued it into place because of reasons. So this is it before the restoration. It was still gold with shot out windows, bent wheels, tires, axles, everything. It was just destroyed after 50 years of playing, and this is it after the restoration. Nice and green, nice restored wheels and tires with the luggage rack and a nice brown interior. Now if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, make sure to check out my previous video, what is in my opinion my greatest restoration, link on the top right of your screen. And obviously, like always, I want to thank every single one of my Patreons. Thank you very much for watching and to see you in a future video. Bye.